Hey, it's Corey, and I wanted to talk to you today about my new course, Intermediate Blues Rhythm Guitar. Now, this course is a direct companion to my recently released Beginning Blues Rhythm Guitar. So if you've been working in beginning blues, you're ready to take the leap, try some harder stuff, this course really is a hand in a glove with the other course. I mean, they are direct companions of each other. And just like when I released Beginning Blues, I offered it at extremely low price, $9.99. That's right, 84% off the normal price. And you can take advantage of that price with the link below in the description. That'll be the first link you see in the video description. All right, so let's take a look at an excerpt from the course. We're going to be learning some new dominant 7 shapes that you might not have known or moving them around at the same time. So it's all about making you a more adventurous rhythm guitar player, really traversing the neck and trying different stuff from every 12-bar progression that you encounter. All right, I'll see you at the end of the lesson, and I hope you dig it. All right, so we're going to up the ante a little bit here. We're in the key of G, yet another shuffle, but I sped the tempo up about 10 clicks because you got to start working for it a little bit, you know? We want to put something in your hands that's going to be really useful for years to come, but also inspiring and give you yet another sort of rung to climb on the ladder, all right? So we're in G7. We're going to play, we're in the key of G. We can play a G7, which we will. We're going to play our old friend there from early on in the course. We'll play a C7 in this example, and then we'll play a D9, and we're gonna keep all those notes kind of tight, close by. Maybe go down to a C9, we'll see what happens if I get frisky. And then back to a G7, but we'll put a cool double stop lick in. We'll add the major third sound, which is really, really typical for this kind of thing, and it's gonna be a really, really quintessential kind of shuffle feel and something that also sounds good when you play it by yourself. All right, let's dive into the track and give it a shot. Here we go. Oh, 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's talk about the chords first. We're going to play our favorite new dominant 7 shape for G7 right there. Remember, that's the one we worked on really, really early on in this course. That comes from that E7 shape. And quick story, I had a guitar lesson with a Skype or Zoom student the other day, and I said, hey, just play an E7 and then move it up to wherever you want. And he had trouble because he just wasn't used to doing that, okay? So don't give yourself a hard time if that is tricky at first, because your hands sometimes just get locked into place for certain things, and then moving them can be a challenge. So it's nice that we can like kind of bring in some of these real world experiences, because hopefully that's happening to you. And if it is, well, I say hopefully, that I can actually guide you through some of those issues, okay? It's gonna happen to all of us. We're all gonna have little things that give us hiccups from time to time, all right? So that's our G7, starting on. Really use the 5th fret as your guide, but your fourth string there is where your root note is on the 5th fret. And that's 5th, 5th, 4th, and 6th as far as the frets go. The strings will go 5, 4, 3, 2. And remember, this is really focusing on that inside 4 strings that we like so much. And we're gonna do a little bit different rhythm here. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, and rest, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. 2, 3, and so we're really taking sort of the middle of the progression, and we're kind of getting started on beat number 2 and then adding 8th notes after that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, and then we're gonna add this double stop rhythm right on the downbeat. 1, 1, and 2, and 3. so we talked in the other example in the key of A about the pentatonic scales. And again, hopefully you have a little bit of a grasp on at least pentatonic scale number 1 in the key of G. That's going to be your shell. You want to use that as your skeleton to find that. And we're going to start right here on the 4th string, 5th fret. That's a G note. And we're going to go, actually, we're going to start with a double stop first. I make my mistake. And that double stop is going to occur right here on the 5th fret, 3rd and 2nd strings. Now this is a lick that's not entirely pentatonic. It's kind of a combination of minor and major pentatonic. Again, we're not going to go super dive into that concept here. We just want to play the riff, and then we can talk about that on another course or in a lesson on Zoom, just like with that previous student, okay? So we're going to start with the 5th fret. And what we have to do here is, this is tricky because we have to accomplish a lot on 1 fret. We're going to play... And I'd encourage you to probably play all downstrokes here. So you bar or cover up those 2 strings, 2nd and 3rd, on the 5th fret, play them together, and use enough force on your right hand that you really get them to ring almost in unison. And then release them and curl your fingers so that you grab that G note on the 4th string. Then we're going to go down to the 3rd fret, and we're going to do 2nd and 3rd strings, and same barring idea. Then you're going to add the 4th fret 3rd string, and I want you to do that. I want you to play it in pieces like that. I'll show you how to practice here in a moment. But that's the next part, is you're going to go bar, and then add the 2nd finger to the 3rd string, 4th fret. And then you end with your root note G again. Okay, so how do you practice this stuff? I would take that lick, because that's what we would consider a blues lick, and I would break it in half. And I would go... Get really used to that. Get used to that, because that's like the next sequence of notes. Then the next sequence is... And make it sound like mine. And then end on that. And if it doesn't sound like mine, try to get there as close as you can. Okay? That's going to be what really drives this example, is that one right there. But we're going to change it up a little bit. When we go to the next chord, I want to use a C7, and I'm going to use a C7 bar chord. Let's bring it back, you know? We're bringing it back, C7. And the reason I like this is because it's going to kind of play off of that chord. It's going to play off of the riff. See how that note stayed the same? That's another thing too, this particular student, I don't want to like pick him out, but like he said, wow, like I said, don't be afraid to like kind of move your fingers around and play the same note with different fingers and really look. It's weird, the guitar visually can be a strange thing to us because we get so locked into the physical shape of the chord, we lose the sort of forest for the trees, if you will, okay? So, know that that note, it lives there, and when we play the chord, that's our C7, and we go, we're using that as an anchor point for sure. That's where my brain is going, sort of next level thinking melodically. That's why this is gonna work so well, okay? Is that over your head enough? Nah, you got it, I know you do. So once we play that C7, started out the same way without this single note, but started here. And roll to the single note, just like you would. You're not gonna do that. That's the part I wanted to mention that you're gonna leave out. So, starts the same way. Get to your 3rd fret bar, then it's just 3, 5, 3. And that works really well because those two notes live in that C9 chord. So even though we played a C7, we can kind of hint at that C9 with the riff. So up to that point, we're 1, 2, ready, play, rest. rest, rest. Back to the 1 chord. Same riff. D9, riff. Because it's gonna work over da 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 da, rest. So again, like in the last example, I need to target that last chord. So I kind of walk down the scale in a way that's very, very traditional. So we start with that 5th fret bar of those 2 strings, 5, 3, 5, go back to that G note, and then my 2nd finger's going to go grab that 5th string note right there. That's the root note for our D9 if we wanted. So at the very end of the song, we could go, and you hear people do that sometimes, or maybe they'll play the full chord. But what's nice is if you're using it in this kind of style, just playing the root note implies the chord change. Okay? So lots of fun stuff in there, and I know you've heard it before, and this is a way to kind of start doing it for yourself. Now, take these 2 that you've learned in A and G and start moving them around in different keys. It's a lot of fun to do that, and again, do it by yourself, do it with an acoustic guitar. Lots of really, really cool stuff you can derive from them. All right, we got one more example in this really cool section, so let's jump over to that, and I'll see you there when you're ready. Well, thanks so much for checking out that lesson and the course, Intermediate Blues Rhythm Guitar. Don't forget, you can take advantage of the entire course for just $9.99 by clicking the link below in the video description. Should be the first link there. Scroll down, you'll find it. It'll take you to where you need to be to jump into Intermediate Blues Rhythm Guitar. I'm Corey Congilio. Thanks so much for checking out this lesson and the course. I'll see you in there.